everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here today with another end of the year themed video, and I wanted to talk about my top 5 favorite plants of 2019. By the way, my name is Becca if we have never met before, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about all the houseplant things. We learn about plants together and we appreciate plants together, and we have so much fun over here. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. It was very difficult deciding which plants I wanted to feature in this video, but each plant has a very special meaning in my heart, and I thought that we would sit down and talk about why these plants feel so special to me specifically for this year. I have done a video where I talked in the past about the plants that mean the most to me as far as sentiment goes, and I just talked about why certain plants in my collection meant so much to me, and a lot of people had some really beautiful things to say about plants in their own collection. And in this video I'm going to be specifically talking about 5 plants that I have really enjoyed in the year 2019. Alright, so this plant right here is my Rhaphidophora Tetris Perma. I said it correctly the first time. Yes. And this plant means so much to me this year because it is a plant that I wanted so badly, and I was actually able to wait and be patient and find it in person. Now this is a tissue culture variety, and I have talked a little bit about my opinions on the tissue culture versus regular Tetris Perma debate, and if you are interested in that, I have an entire video where I talked about plant debates. I'll link that up in the cards so that you can check that one out if you're interested. So I actually think that the Tetris Perma is the plant of 2019. I know that there's a lot of things like what is the color of 2019, what is the blank of 2019, and I definitely think that the plant of 2019 is this Tetris Perma. The reason being, when it came about, it just kind of like stormed the nation. I just think that this plant is so beautiful. It has been such a wonderful plant for me to own because it is so easy. If you don't have one of these, I think that it's definitely time that you track one down. The tissue culture has provided a way for a lot of people to have these at a more accessible price and location. A lot of big box stores started to carry these, like Home Depot and Lowe's, and so I just really think that this plant is so wonderful, and I love that that happened while the plant was still super popular, because sometimes I think a plant will become more accessible once it's not super popular, but this plant became more accessible when it was still popular, and I think that's the best. So anyway, this is definitely in the top 5 plants of 2019. I'm not actually doing these in any specific order, but this is definitely in my top 5. Okay. I changed the angle a little bit because I felt like the camera was very close to me. This plant is so special to me, and I actually talked about it in my sentimental plants video. In order to not be super repetitive, I just wanted to showcase this plant because it really showcases a change and a shift in my plant parenthood. It was a shift that kind of allowed me to propel myself forward and try to challenge myself more with plants. And I'm here to say that it has been going really well, and I'm so happy that this plant is the one that took me there, because this was actually my very first wish list plant ever. So it feels like a no-brainer that it would be in this video. This is probably my #1 plant of 2019, to be completely honest with you, because it represents that shift, and also it's just so beautiful, and I was just genuinely so unsure as to how it would do under my care, but it is so happy. And this is a plant that I like seriously baby, like a lot. I take care of this thing better than I take care of my dog sometimes. Actually, that's not true at all, but I take care of it as if it is a dog. How about that? I love it. I love it so much. It's so beautiful, and I know a lot of people in my town who have had these, and they have been literally the biggest divas in the whole world, and mine has not been a diva at all. It's been so good to me, and I'm just so glad that I actually got this. I picked it up from Tennessee Tropicals online, so this is a beautiful plant. I'm so happy that it's in my collection. The next plant that I want to showcase in my top 5 plants of 2019 is this gorgeous butterfly arrowhead vine, and I did not know what the actual ID was in my Syngonium collection video, so I got the ID. A lot of people were able to help me out, and thank you for that. It's huge, as we saw in the previous video, but also I just want to say that this is really the plant that kind of got me on the craze of arrowheads. I didn't really see the hype of them, and I had a variegated arrowhead before this. When I saw this one, and I saw just the growth pattern and how prolific it is and how happy it is and really honestly any condition. It just made me so happy, and it is such a simple and easy and beautiful plant, and that is why it feels like a no-brainer that it would be in my top 5 plants of this year. Alright, so the next plant that I want to showcase in this video is my beautiful baby Tye Constellation, and I wanted to show off this one because it is the first hard to find plant that I ever got, and it was kind of like crazy that it even happened, because if you didn't see me unbox this plant, I kind of shared the story of it. But basically what happened is I had a friend who was on a wait list for a baby Tye, and she actually, when it came around to being her time, she wasn't ready, and so she kind of just gave me her spot in line, which was amazing. So I got to buy this beautiful plant off of somebody that I did not know, did not really check in on, and I got very, very lucky. And I will say that I will probably never do that again. Even though I had a positive experience, I would like to make sure that I can double check the vendor before I buy a plant from somebody, but my friend was very trusting in the vendor, so I felt like I could be too. So this is the 3rd leaf that it has put out in my care that is coming out right now, and it actually looks like it's going to be quite large, and I'm very excited about that. Something that I love about the Monstera Tye Constellation is that this variegation is stable. So as opposed to the Albo Monstera variegata, that variegation is not stable, meaning that it could leave the plant at any point unless it is given like really the optimal environment, and even then you just never know. Whereas with this plant, the Tye Constellation, you are guaranteed to have variegation on every single leaf, no matter what. This leaf has probably the least amount of variegation, and it has a lot of speckles on it even so. And I think maybe that's why it's actually called the Tye Constellation, because it looks like a starry night and it's so beautiful. This leaf was a half moon. And ever since, you know, a couple months ago, I guess, the variegation just kind of has been dying off, and it has been stabilized at this point. But I definitely think that I might cut that off so that this leaf can stick around without the ugliness of the brown here. The newest leaf that has come out is stunning, and it is honestly like one of my favorite leaves in my entire collection, mostly because of this patch right here. That is so beautiful to me. So it isn't even really the white patches that get my heart going, it's like this minty color that kind of makes my heart sing. So this is definitely a top 5 plant in 2019. I'm so happy that I got this. I feel so lucky that I have it, and yeah, love a good little Tye Constellation. Okay, and the last plant that I wanted to showcase in this top 5 plants of 2019 video is this beautiful, gorgeous, lovely, wonderful White Ghost Euphorbia, and I am obsessed with White Ghost Euphorbia. I am not sure what exactly it is. I think really probably because of the color. It's not white, it's like a minty, sagey color, which is my favorite color. And this plant is so wonderful because it grows and grows and grows and grows. And I actually have a almost 5 foot tall White Ghost Euphorbia that sits out on my patio, and that plant along with this one are just so special to me and so incredible, and they really kind of represent to me kind of owning the fact that I live in the desert. I spent a lot of my life hating that I lived here. I've basically been trying to move out of Tucson since I graduated from high school, and something has just kept me here. And I'm glad for it because I met my husband here, and I went to school here, and I don't know, just like really grown to love the desert, and so I have a newfound appreciation for my desert plants. Now this plant does not come from the Sonoran Desert where I live, it comes from deserts in Africa, so Euphorbia is actually African cactus, and I don't know, I just think that they're so cool. And I guess desert to desert, it doesn't really matter, the conditions are pretty similar, I guess, so these do just so well where I live. I love Euphorbia. I think that I prefer Euphorbia over traditional cactus anyway, so this is just such a beautiful representation of my cactus collection and how far I've come in truly appreciating where I live, because again, like I said, for so long I hated Tucson, and now I love Tucson, and I know that I'm gonna have to leave someday, but I think that I will always, always, always look fondly upon my time here in Tucson when I see my beautiful cactus and desert plants. Alright you guys, that is going to be all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about my top 5 plants of 2019. I had a really hard time putting this list together. It kind of felt like I was choosing favorites between my kids, But I do love every single plant in my collection for different reasons, but these plants just felt like they rounded out the year and represented just my plant parenthood as a whole this year. So if you have any plants that you feel do the same for you, I would love to hear about that in the comments down below. Leave me your top 5 or even top 1 plant of the year. Alright you guys, if you're not already, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I would love to see you around here more often, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!